Yes, it's.
Same shirt and same belly.
You got the dress on everyone.
We always kept root beer and ice cream. We always had that, make our own. We love A&W.
How are you?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff, you know, in the years, right?
In my company, he's Shanghai.
Okay, so first of all, welcome everybody. We appreciate that you could all come. We're here to celebrate the life of May Wu, my mother-in-law. So many of us have a lot of facets in our life. May had many facets in her life, more than most people that I know. Obviously, she's a mom. That one. She worked at the library for 20 some odd years. I don't remember exactly. And then after she retired, she volunteered at the library for another 27 years, I think. So that was pretty amazing. I've never met anyone who read more books than she did. She could take a book and sit down and read it for 8 hours straight with barely getting up to do anything and finish the whole book. She had friends that I have never met somebody with more friends than she.
Happy 93rd, May!
Happy birthday, May.
Happy birthday,
Happy
May!
birthday,
Happy
May.
birthday, May!
Happy birthday, May. We miss you. We'll see you soon, I hope.
About that, so I'm going to use Russ as an example. So Russ came to dinner here one night, Russ and his wife, and May joined us for dinner anytime we had anybody to come over. And so she talked to him and learned about him. And then that night, I didn't know about this until after she passed. She went and into her journal and she wrote down about Russ. Just about everybody. As far as being a world traveler and knowing about the world, she went to at least amazing things. She also wrote letters. I think she probably had 50 different people that she wrote to every month. And so I was always taking letters to the mailbox. I was always bringing letters back and so forth. And she made her own card. So where I'm going with all this is that May had many facets of her life. And everyone here had an exposure to her in one facet or another of her life. And so just like I've shared that story about Russ and that I've had with her, this is an opportunity for you guys to talk to each other and to ask, so what do you remember May? Because most of us don't know all the facets of anybody. I mean, I know one facet of many, many people, but I don't know all the facets of anybody. So if you guys are, when you're talking to each other, ask about how did you know May? And what do you remember? And you should be able to, sorry. But
So I just wanted
Sorry.
to interject. There's everybody here has probably met my mom at one point or another and has really connected with her, even if it was just for a dinner here at the house. And it's amazing because each and every one of you made an impression on her so that she would probably have some really good facts on all of you guys. She's been keeping notes, so yeah, it's like, it's pretty interesting. But there are a couple people I just wanted to point out that made an extreme effort to get here, which is utterly amazing. So my cousin Robert flew in from San Francisco right there for this event, and he is my father's nephew on my dad's side. But he has been a big part of the family, him and his brothers, and they've been, the whole time Mom was recovering, I would be sending them updates to a lot of you guys, and they always gave us encouragement, and I'd read the text to her and let them know that, you know, a lot of people are rooting for you to recover, and so Robert's family was one of those, helping us from so far away. And then, where's Kim? Is Kim out there? Right here. Dear friend, oh sorry, right in front of me. So she flew out from Boston just for this to surprise us, and I had no idea she was coming, and she's going back tomorrow, and I could kill her for doing that because it's like we are videotaping it, but it means the world to us. And then Sylvia, one of my mom's longest library friends, 48 years you guys have known each other since, and they're total troublemakers, very similar, but they were always, we made an effort to keep getting you guys together, but a lot of good stories there. Librarians are not boring, guys, just so you know. They're quite fun, and then a lot of wonderful neighbors, and Lori, my dear friend Lori, came to, it was a tough time these last few weeks, and she came to help me when I was really, really overwhelmed. And so didn't know how, you know, everybody knows pretty much Mom went up and she went down, and then she'd go up and then she'd go down. So I don't know if a lot of you know what happened in the last couple months, maybe 3 months. She had a heart attack, and it's actually kind of a funny story, but you know, that's my mom. So she was sneaking a root beer float. She thought she was, I come home and she kind of gave me that little, who said that, was this little grin to me. Yeah, and so she thinks she's getting away with it. She's going to the kitchen, put the mug in, goes back to her room, and I hear her coughing, so I go in, and she had regurgitated the root beer float, and she aspirated it, and what happened, it triggered a heart attack. So we called the paramedics, which I'm sure all the neighbors saw them come. So they took her and they got her back, which is amazing. She came home in 5 days and was fine, doing everything. But the ambulance actually broke her hand in the process. And amazingly enough, her hand healed. The orthopedist said it healed like a baby. It healed so fast. But before the bone was even healed, she's sitting there writing letters. It was unbelievable to watch. And I kept saying to her, "Doesn't it hurt?" And she's like, you know, nothing. Didn't blink. And then during that time, they took a chest x-ray and they found a big kidney stone. And so they had to get it out because she was having chronic UTIs. And the chronic UTIs caused sepsis already last year, which we almost lost her then. So then they said, we've got to take it out. So they scheduled an in and out surgery. We thought it was going to be pretty basic. But when they went in, it was a big kidney stone, and then they had multiple kidney stones, and there was a lot of bacteria in the kidney. And so when they took it out, it just sent that bacteria through her system and caused sepsis. So she went into cardiac arrest that night. They did CPR on her for 10 minutes. Then they intubated her and kept her on intubation for 3 days. And they told us to say goodbye. So all the families calling and talking to her, and then they take her off the tube. And the next morning, I see these little eyes looking at me like, I'm thirsty. Like, where have you been? I would like a drink. And I'm just like, and the doctors were blown out of the water because she had no kidney function for 3 solid days. Literally nothing. They said, this is impossible. So they put her in a step-down unit, and she was there Wednesday. She got out on Thursday, and they sent her home on Friday, believe it or not. And they were just amazed that she was still with us, right? So she came home. And the confusing thing for us was they sent us with a referral for physical therapy and speech therapy, which meant, oh, she's gonna recover. So she's home, she's awake 4 hours a day, she's sleeping 20. And then she started to just not recover. So Lori said I should consider hospice. And I'm thinking, why? She's not going anywhere. I'm like, no. Then we called the paramedics again because she kind of slid on the floor. She didn't fall, but she slid. She's laying there very calm. And I said, you okay? And she goes, yeah, I'm fine. It's like, no big deal. I said, well, Uncle Tommy and I cannot pick you up. And so I said, I got to call the paramedics in. And then they came, picked her up, and the EMT said, she in hospice? And I'm like, no, why? Why would she be in hospice, you know? And then I said, oh, I better call the doctor. So I called the doctor, and I told her what she was doing, and he said, we got to get you. come. I came at, Wednesday night and, literally got in there at 8 o'clock at night. We went into the room. She just stuck her hand out and just said, wonderful. Next morning, she woke up very weak, and then by, I would say, an hour or two, she started to say goodbye. And so by the end of the next morning, she was gone. But it was like it happened fast because she had always recovered. So that was the hard part. But yeah, so, and then we have some dear friends of 60 plus years we used to go camping with, and they had scheduled this trip to spend time with Mom, because this was originally going to be her 95th birthday party. So we were doing it when Tommy was here, and our dear friends, Connie and Nancy, were here, but unfortunately it's different. But my mom, I know, is extremely happy to see all of you. You guys all know that, because she loved seeing you guys, and just was interested in every single thing you had to tell her. And so I hope that's what you go home with, that, wow, what an amazing woman she was. Truly, truly touching. So Tommy, you wanted to say a few words, right?
No.
Plus going, I don't remember when she was a little girl, so it was kind of neat to see her, that she had a real fashion sense. Like, whoa, my mother was, yeah. But everybody I spoke to about her, she was extremely smart, she was extremely kind and loving, and just what I've experienced being here 11 years with her, every time we'd go to meet her friends, and you know, and so I'd hang out with her 80-year-old friends, we'd have a blast, and they never complained about their ailments, they only talked about the good times, they were planning their next trip, and I'll tell you, it was as fun as hanging with somebody my own age. We had a blast, and so I just felt like so privileged to get to know her as just a friend, and not as her daughter, and it was, you know, it was a real blessing for me. So thank you all so much for being here. It just means the world to us. And all our neighbors, I tell you, she loved you guys. She just loved it. This is the most one, we've been in here since 2017, I think. My mom could tell us exactly when. And but she just loved this neighborhood, and it was always so friendly and welcoming to us. So we're so grateful for such wonderful neighbors. Thank you all so very, very much. Sorry, yeah, this is really special.
Is it good one?
Yes, sir.
She really liked him.
Yes.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then after this, we're going to do a group shot. 709. So we can do a group shot.
Say shots.
You want to put? Oh.
Meet again.
Aloha.
you.